Today is Monday, June 9th. We'll tell you about the escalating clashes in Los Angeles as President Trump, in a rare move, deployed National Guard troops without the governor's request. Also, a man once wrongfully deported is back in the U.S., but now is facing serious new charges. Plus, an egg recall you'll want to check your fridge for. A historic deal ushers in a new era of college sports. And the big winner at the Tony Awards as Broadway celebrates a record-breaking season. Those stories and even more news to know coming up. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Tensions in Los Angeles escalated last night as protesters and law enforcement clashed across downtown streets. It comes as President Trump deployed 2,000 California National Guard troops to LA over the weekend in a rare historic move. It's said to be the first time in 6 decades that a U.S. president has used federal powers to send National Guard troops into a state without the governor's request. The troops began to arrive after ICE immigration raids the last few days have targeted workplaces like LA's Garment District, sparking protests. Some demonstrators have increasingly gotten more violent, some throwing rocks and cement, setting cars on fire, and throwing fireworks at law enforcement. LA's police chief blamed not those protesting immigration raids, but people he said, quote, who do this all the time. Federal agents in riot gear have used pepper balls, tear gas, flashbangs, and other crowd control munitions in these confrontations. California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA's mayor said the National Guard deployment was unnecessary and has only escalated tensions. They said local law enforcement were handling the protests, called on protesters to stay peaceful, and Newsom formally requested the Trump administration rescind what he called their unlawful deployment of troops. Trump, though, took to social media over the weekend, blasting local leaders, accusing them of failing to protect federal agents. He said if they can't do the job, the federal government will step in. He said LA has been, quote, invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals, adding that, quote, violent insurrectionist mobs are swarming and attacking federal agents. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has said that if violence continues, Marines in California could be mobilized. California's governor called that threat to deploy Marines on American soil, quote, deranged behavior. It's all now sparked a broader national debate on presidential power, immigration policy, and the limits on using military force at home. To be continued. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is back in the U.S., but is now facing criminal charges. Remember, we're talking about the man who was deported and sent to a Salvadoran supermax prison in error. It led to a months-long legal fight and court orders to bring him back. Well, now the U.S. is accusing Abrego Garcia of being a key player in an international smuggling ring with gang ties. The new indictment alleges he helped to smuggle guns and people through the country for nearly a decade. President Trump told NBC News it was not his decision to bring Abrego Garcia back to the U.S., that instead the Justice Department made the call, but Trump said the new charges, quote, should be a very easy case. But critics say much of the case relies on questionable witnesses, and defense attorneys are expected to argue the charges are politically motivated. For now, Abrego Garcia is being held in Nashville with a hearing scheduled for later this week. It seems President Trump has no plans to make up with Elon Musk. Trump told an NBC News reporter he assumes his relationship with Elon Musk is over, says he has no desire to repair ties, and warned Musk would face very serious consequences if he funds Democrats in the next election. Though Democrats seem to be making it clear they have no plans to welcome Musk into their party. Remember, Trump and Musk had a public falling out last week where Musk slammed Trump's tax bill as a disgusting abomination, and Trump accused Musk of having Trump derangement syndrome, and the back and forth continued from there. Well, over the weekend, Vice President J.D. Vance described Musk's comments as a huge mistake, and House Speaker Mike Johnson called it disappointing, but downplayed any impact Musk might have on the Senate passing Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. So, to be continued. Israel has intercepted a ship headed for Gaza, carrying Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg, Game of Thrones actor Liam Cunningham, and French member of the European Parliament Rima Hassan, as well as other activists and some humanitarian aid. Israel had warned it would stop the ship with, quote, any means necessary, and by last night, the foreign ministry confirmed the ship has been diverted to Israeli shores. Officials called the mission a publicity stunt and said the passengers would return to their home countries while the aid would be delivered to Gaza through established channels. But the activists called the interception of their ship a kidnapping by Israeli forces. Thunberg says the mission was about refusing to stay silent in the face of what she called a live-streamed genocide. The aid on board was said to be a symbolic amount, but included baby formula, medical supplies, diapers, and children's prosthetics. Millions of Americans have been dealing with severe weather. Thunderstorms have been impacting an area stretching from New Mexico to Pennsylvania, though Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma have had some of the worst of it, with multiple tornadoes confirmed since Friday. And just overnight, Oklahoma City and the Dallas-Fort Worth area have faced a threat of up to 100-mile-an-hour winds, large hail, flash flooding, and isolated tornadoes. More rounds of storms are expected across a chunk of the South today, with the greatest threat moving to the southeast and into the Ohio Valley. But the risk of severe weather will still be lower early this week than what many have dealt with over the weekend. More news for you still ahead, but first, thanks to our sponsor, Honeylove. This summer, I'm ready to swap out anything bulky and uncomfortable, and that includes shapewear and other essentials. Thankfully, Honeylove has lightweight, breathable, versatile items that give me the support, style, and confidence I'm looking for, with the added and necessary bonus of comfort. Whether it's finding that just right bra, getting shapewear that makes me feel great in any dress, or throwing on leggings or loungewear that I love wearing every day, Honeylove has it all. You'll love how they all feel, function, and look. So go ahead, ditch the discomfort, say bye to wires or squeezing you in the wrong places, and treat yourself to the summer support you deserve with Honeylove. You won't feel the need to come home and immediately change clothes any longer. Treat yourself to the most comfortable and innovative bras, shapewear, and leggings on earth, and save 20% off site-wide at honeylove.com/newsworthy. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/newsworthy. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, so please support our show and tell them we sent you. Experience the new standard with Honeylove. Now, back to the news. It's a new era for college sports. For the first time ever, universities can now pay athletes directly. It comes after a federal judge approved a multi-billion-dollar settlement between the NCAA, major conferences, and Division I athletes. The deal ends 3 antitrust lawsuits that claimed the NCAA illegally limited how much college athletes could earn. Now the NCAA will pay out nearly $2.8 billion over the next decade in back damages to former athletes who played from 2016 on. And moving forward, the terms of the settlement mean each school can share with players up to about $20.5 million a year. Some are calling this move historic and overdue, while others warn it could lead to even more legal challenges ahead. For now, though, the new College Sports Commission will oversee rules around revenue sharing, booster deals, and roster limits. To be clear, this is separate from the Supreme Court ruling back in 2021 that allowed college athletes to make money from third parties like sponsors, though that ruling helped pave the way to this next step when colleges will now pay athletes directly. The first school payouts are expected to begin as soon as next month. It was a big weekend across the sports world with champions crowned, a new league debuting, and 2 major finals in full swing. First in tennis, the French Open wrapped up in Paris. And it's a career milestone for Coco Gauff, who, in a thrilling comeback against world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka, won her first French Open. Gauff became the first American to win it since Serena Williams in 2015. On the men's side, Carlos Alcaraz from Spain rallied from 2 sets down in what's being called one of the greatest comebacks in history. He beat Yannick Sinner in a 5.5-hour epic, claiming the French Open title for the second year in a row. In horse racing, Sovereignty won the Belmont Stakes over the weekend, just a few weeks after claiming the Kentucky Derby crown, meaning Sovereignty won 2 legs of the horse racing's Triple Crown. This time, Sovereignty narrowly beat the other favorite, Journalism, who won the Preakness Stakes this year. Meanwhile, it was a historic weekend in professional softball. A new 4-team league, Athletes Unlimited Softball, or AUSL, made its official debut as a traveling pro league. It's the latest push to expand visibility and pay for women athletes and has the backing from Major League Baseball, which made a strategic investment in the league. And finally, the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final are underway, with both best-of-7 series now tied 1-1. In basketball, it's the Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder, with Game 3 set for Wednesday night. As for hockey, the Stanley Cup Final continues with Game 3 tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers. Stay tuned. We have an egg recall to tell you about. At least 79 people across several states, mostly in the West, have gotten sick in a salmonella outbreak linked to the recall of 1.7 million eggs. The organic and cage-free brown eggs from August Egg Company were sold under several different brand names at retail stores like Walmart, Ralph's, Smart & Final, Safeway, and more. Most of the people sickened live in California, followed by Nevada and Washington State. Of course, public health officials are telling people to return or throw away any recalled eggs and wash surfaces they may have touched. We posted links to more information about this recall on our website, thenewsworthy.com. Click on episodes at the top and then find today's episode. It was Broadway's biggest night last night, and the big winner, picking up 6 awards, including Best Musical, Best Director, and Best Actor, was Maybe Happy Ending. It's a love story involving 2 abandoned robots in near-future South Korea. Wicked star Cynthia Erivo hosted the ceremony last night, and there were performances from each show nominated for Best Musical. The original cast of Hamilton also reunited for a performance to mark the show's 10-year anniversary. The Tonys capped a record-breaking season for Broadway's box office, its most profitable year ever, thanks in large part to performances by Hollywood A-listers like Denzel Washington, George Clooney, and more. That's it for the main news, so now it's time for Money Monday, when we talk about one interesting money-related news story. But first, I want to take a moment to talk about our sponsor, OneSkin. I love using OneSkin every single day. First of all, this is a company founded by an all-women team of scientists with PhDs in skin regeneration, stem cell biology, immunology, and bioinformatics. So they clearly know what they're doing. They developed the OS1 peptide. It works at the cellular level to improve key aging biomarkers while reducing the visible signs of aging too, including lines, wrinkles, and sagging skin. Because OneSkin believes the purpose of skincare is not just to improve how you look, but to also optimize your skin's biology. How cool is that? Besides, I love the feel and the effects so far of everything I've tried from OneSkin. So go get their cleanser, moisturizers, sunscreens, and even their new peptide scalp serum, because yes, scalp health is skin health. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. And for a limited time, you can try OneSkin with 15% off using the code NEWSWORTHY at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with the code NEWSWORTHY. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them, so please support my show and tell them we sent you. Give your skin the scientifically proven, gentle care it deserves with OneSkin. Now back to Money Monday. So retailers are ramping up their own brands, also known as private label products, to keep prices down, especially in the face of tariffs. And apparently, consumers are taking notice. Private label items like Costco's Kirkland Signature or Aldi's in-house brands were already growing faster than traditional national brands thanks to lower prices and better quality than in the past. Well, now, experts told Axios they expect tariffs to accelerate this trend, and they predict the popularity of store brand products will soar. On average, these store brand products cost about 20% less than national brands, and large retailers like Walmart, Costco, and Aldi say they're better able to control production costs to reduce tariff impacts. Aldi, which sells about 90% store-owned brands, is now promoting a drop in prices on hundreds of summer favorites from meat to frozen items. Bottom line, if you're looking to save this summer, experts think store brands could be a budget-friendly option. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and for your support of the show. You can get ad-free episodes when you become a Newsworthy Insider, and you can even start your free trial at thenewsworthy.com/insider. Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to episodes of The Newsworthy ad-free in the Wondery app. We'll be back with even more news to know tomorrow. For now, have a great day.